Good afternoon. Welcome to this video. Today I'm looking at a footprint chart of Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame. We did have an all-time high put in at $126,000 just on Monday, and we're just going to dissect the price action a little bit and look at what happened there up at those highs and what we can expect moving forward. So you can see I put this circle around the candle in question. Now, if you're not familiar with what a footprint chart is, there is a really brilliant guide on TradingView, which basically covers the A to Z of footprint charts. It's gonna educate you far better than I ever could. But just to put it in one sentence, quite simply, a footprint chart in essence is the buyers, the sellers that took place inside of the candle. So normally our candles look like this, and a footprint chart basically gives us the data so we can see who's buying, who's selling, how many, and who's in control. And that's basically what it is. So with that said, we're going to jump back to the footprint chart and take a look at what happened to Bitcoin on Monday. So we had this move upwards. We put in our all-time high, and we're going to see from the footprint chart, it gives us basically these numbers here where you can see the sellers and you can see the buyers, and it gives us the number in what we call delta. So we had a negative delta, which would imply with a candle going to the upside and having negative delta that the sellers were in control. So unlike what we would normally expect to see when we're at an all-time high, especially in a crypto asset, which is loads of FOMO longs piling in at the top, we didn't see that. We saw sellers that were in control of that candle. Now, we've subsequently moved down into the 120s or 122 we're at presently, but we went down to those lows at 120 after having this failed auction. So, a failed auction is essentially just not enough market participation from either buyers or sellers. And as a result of that, it leads to a rapid price reversal. So when we go to the current price action, 122K, we're just going to change our chart now to TPO. And we are going to just go down the time frame for a second, just for this video. Going to go to the 30-minute time frame. And I'm going to get rid of this there. Okay. So we can see this was our all-time high. Okay. We can see that we had, when we put that high in, a poor tail. Okay. Because what you really want to see is something like, if I can find it, if I can find a good example to show you. Would you believe it? Can't find anything just yet. Let's have a look. Okay, what you really want to see is a nice long tail. If I can't find one, I'm just going to jump straight back to it and just forget about it. So, but essentially, that's a shame. I can't find anything good enough to give you that example. But you want to see basically lots of the single letters going up. Okay, so similar to this here, but just the opposite. Okay, but for argument's sake, we are just going to pretend that you understand what I'm on about and you've seen that. So, okay, here we are. So we're at 122K. We can see we have single prints here. So we have unfinished business above us. We have a poor high up here. We have our point of control. This is from Monday. And we have a point of control here from Sunday. So, I wouldn't be surprised to see perhaps another squeeze to the upside. And either we come into this point of control or come into this zone, 124, 125K. I think if we if we claimed that level, then we can expect to see kind of the sort of concluding business to take place, above this old all-time high. But I don't know, maybe that's a bit too ambitious at the moment to be expecting that. So if that's not the case, it could just be a case of just like coming back up, tapping into this point of control at 124 and then getting the drop, But when we just like jump back to the regular chart, see how that looks. Okay, when we jump back to this, and we can see here that if we do get that kind of outcome in price where we come back up to like what, 125, get that drop down, and who knows, maybe come back down into this kind of 114k zone. Because you know what, when we look back, for example here, which was in August, and let's look at that drop that we did eventually get all the way back down to 107k. That was a 13% drop there. When we look here, from July to August, we had a 10%. So if we do get anything like that off of, where did I say, off of that 124 down to here, I mean, that's only 8% down to that VWAP, or or even down to like 100 and 109, which would be completely reasonable when you look at the context and you look at the market structure. So trade in, and until next time.